If you've ever felt like your employees are speaking a completely different language from you, or if you've ever felt frustrated that people just don't seem to get your vision, then this video is for you. In this video, I'm going to share how to define your vision, mission, and core values and why these are crucial to the success of your business and for your employees to move forward in one single direction. If you're new here, then just know that every week I come back and I talk about how to build and nurture your high performance culture. If you are new here, subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can be notified every time I post a new video, which happens to be every Tuesday. Now, most small business owners don't take this concept of defining your vision, mission, and core values as important, or they consider it like a corporate type of thing and not really applicable to a small business. But in fact, having a vision, mission, and core values, as I mentioned, is really important for you, for your business, so that everyone on your small team can be working towards the same goal. One of the reasons why small business CEOs don't do this exercise is because they think that they need to hire six-figure consultants to come in and have flip charts and stuff all over their board in order for them to do this. That's not true. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through the entire step for absolutely $0. Another thing I hear from small business owners and CEOs is that they don't really understand the difference between a vision, mission, and what exactly are core values anyway. So before we get into the how, let's talk about what these things actually are. I'm going to break it up into simple explanations. So your vision is where you see yourself 5, 10, 15 years from now. It's as simple as that. Your mission is what you are doing for the world at large. Now, we're going to go into this in more detail, but just think about the differentiator there. Your vision is where you and your organization are going to be in 5, how many ever years into the future. And your mission is like this grand idea of what your plan is for humanity overall. Your values essentially are how you're going to put those things into action. How are you going to realize your vision, and how are you going to realize your mission? That's it. It's as simple as that. Okay, let's start with vision. Now, I want you to think about the picture that you imagine in your mind about where your business is 5 years from now. And then think about a picture of where it is 10 years from now. And then think about a picture of where it is 15 years from now. Try to be as clear as possible. So really close your eyes, spend some time doing this activity. It's not easy because I need you to really dig deep and think about very specific things on what your business is going to look like. So here are some prompts to help you. Think about, what are you famous for? So we are famous for, we operate in these geographies, we have these many employees, we generate this much revenue, and of that revenue, this much is profit. Let's see, what are the products and services that you offer? Think about each of these things for those time horizons. Now, a vision can be as short as 1 year, and it can be as long as 20 years. The problem with having a super long vision, there's nothing wrong with it. But the only issue is that our world is moving so fast. When you think about where we were 20 years ago in 2001, people were barely sort of getting their first cell phones. And today we have billions of people that cannot do without their phones. So if you were to build a vision out in 2001 to 2021, chances are you'd be way off. And of course, there's nothing to say that your vision can't evolve over time. It absolutely can. My suggestion is to start with a 3-year horizon, a 5-year horizon, and then a 10-year horizon, and then leave it at that. And then every few years, you can go back and like tweak it and revise it. Okay, let's move to mission. Now, your mission is what you do for the world. Every business, no matter how big or small, exists in this world for more than just generating revenue and profit. Even if that was the reason you started your business, you are serving the world in a bigger way. You are solving a bigger problem than simply getting more money in your bank account. That reason, that why is what your mission is in the world. Now, if you haven't watched Simon Sinek's TED Talk on on how to actually figure out your why, then I highly encourage that you do that. I'm going to link to it in the description below as well. I talk about Simon Sinek's video all the time because this is like a core thing that every business owner, every business leader, in fact, even personally something that you need to be aware of. Like, what is your purpose? And once you define that purpose, your mission becomes evidently clear. I have a formula to make this really easy for you. It's something that one of my mentors taught me, and I'm going to actually link to his program in the description below. This is for any human resources professionals. But basically, here's the formula. We use our core talents, X. We do these things to express those talents, describe it, in order to create a world in which our people, X. Okay, so what does this look like? So for example, you take my business. So I use my talents in human resources and leadership, and I create executive coaching programs and consulting services so that small business CEOs can learn to be excited and energized about their business again, which has a trickle-down effect to the entire population. Okay, so I wouldn't exactly word it that way, but you get the point, right? You have this step-by-step formula that you can follow to really get to what is your overall goal in life. My goal, yes, it is to solve the problems for small business CEOs to get out of the whole cycle of overwork and stress and frustration and learn to be energized and excited about their business again. And what happens with that, it doesn't just end with the small business CEO. That trickles down into the rest of their team so that employees at large are generally happier about being at work because their leader cares about the business, the leader cares about them, the leader is showing up in a much bigger and better way. All right. Now that you've got your vision and your mission, let's move on to core values. Now, as I mentioned before, core values are really the how things happen in your organization. These are like the tenets that you use to make every decision in your company, how your processes are established, what business you're going to take on, what types of clients you choose to work with or don't work with, what types of employees you hire or you don't hire, what types of behavior do you tolerate or not tolerate from those employees, what do you expect from yourself as a leader of this company. You want these values to be living, breathing things. You want them to be relatable. You want them to be understood by everybody, not just inside of your company, like your employees, but also your suppliers, your vendors, your customers. Everyone needs to know like what is that place that you're operating from. A great way to ensure that your values are these living, breathing things in your organization is to have little habits attached to them. And this is something that I learned from my coach, and I'm gonna link to her website below as well. She's phenomenal. But essentially, you have these habits, you have these beliefs that are attached to these values. You have the values, you have the beliefs that are attached to the values, and then you have like these habits that you're constantly playing back every single day in every single interaction that you have. So I'll share my 3 values because I think it's important for you to know what they are. Number 1 is be curious. Now, curiosity is something that I have always lived with my entire life. It's a predicament really when it's not appropriately used. However, it has served me well in business as well, because when I have a curiosity mindset and when my employees have a curiosity mindset, it means that we're not okay with just the answer that's in front of us. That's why we're such great HR consultants, is because we dig deeper. We're good executive coaches because we go further than what the client is presenting to us. We'll ask the questions, we'll go around it, we'll ask different people, we'll assess a problem from every which angle before we come to a final conclusion or recommendation. My next value in my organization is stand for what's right. Now, this all stems from being 100% honest about things, even when they're hard. It's easy for us to be honest about something when it's the truth and it's something that's just there. But it's hard to be honest about something when it's something that you have to say, even if it's at a detriment to you. But that's what we stand for what's right, because if it's a right thing to do, no matter how much it hurts me, I am going to convey that truth to my client. The third value in my business is create change through consistency. And I talk a lot about change in my business, and whether it's culture change or behavior change, or, there's a whole bunch of stuff that I talk about related to change. And so my belief and one of my values is that the only way change can happen is if you apply consistent action every single day. That's the only way it can happen. Even if you're trying to change your culture from one thing to something completely different, the only way that that's going to happen, and this is what I tell my clients all the time, is to apply one specific thing every single day and then build upon that. Change is nothing but the creation of little tiny minuscule habits. And every time you implement a habit and you master it, you go on to the next one and the next one and the next one. And that's how you create a lifestyle change, culture change, any kind of change. So the whole reason for me sharing my values is just to explain what that process looks like. Now, attached to these values, which I recommend no more than 3 to 5, are specific behaviors. What behaviors do you need in your organization? And what behaviors will you absolutely not tolerate? Now, just for kicks, I have a list of like idea joggers for specific words and phrases and things that you can use as part of your values. If you are interested, just drop a comment in below and let me know that you are interested. Just put in the word interested, and I will be sure to send you the link to download that information. Now, once you have your vision and mission and core values in place, it becomes a lot easier to figure out what your core business or your top 3 or 4 or 5 business objectives are, because you're going to align your annual business objectives with your vision and your mission, and your values are going to dictate how you're going to achieve those objectives. Now, if you want specific help with creating your vision, mission, and values, then I do all of that in my signature program, High Performance Culture Academy. Not just that, I also help you outline your business strategy and your business objectives. And there's a whole lot more related to how then you can hire the right people for those to achieve those business objectives, how to actually hire, select, onboard, and set objectives for them, and then track that performance. And there's how to show up as a leader yourself. The program is jam-packed with awesome information. If you are interested in signing up or learning more about the program, the link to book a call with me is in the description below. Next week, we're going to continue with this 4-part series on how to build a high performance culture. And we're going to talk about next week on how to attract the right employees into your world to help you achieve your business objectives and ultimately your vision. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button below and come back same time, same place next week for more. In the meantime, while you're waiting for next week's episode, I want you to check out these videos and this playlist for more around building your high performance culture and how you as a leader need to show up.